Kila Chari Torah Halacha minute of review for Thursday, October 22nd. We've been talking about the laws of brachas, making blessings before you eat, making brachot, pronouncing brachot. The bracha should be said loudly and slowly to encourage oneself to concentrate. Don't swallow the words. In other words, don't just swallow it as you're going to swallow that first bite of cookie. One should not recite it. Here's a rule of thumb. One should not recite the bracha as if you're anxious to free yourself of a heavy burden. As soon as I get this bracha out of the way, then I can enjoy my cookie. It's very important to know the meaning of the words. Blessed are you, God. We're speaking directly to the master of the universe here. After the fact, if someone didn't know the meaning, the bracha is still valid. So you tell somebody who's a guest at your house, okay, say say the bracha. You know the bracha, baruch atah, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. So they said the bracha. They don't know the meaning of it. In this case, we say it's okay. The neshama understands, but better to have the entire mind engaged also, if at all possible. One should not recite a bracha if you have to use the washroom. So if you have to use the facilities, that's a pressing need. It's considered not really possible that you'll focus with full concentration on God and as the provider of all of our needs and enjoyable things in the world. So better take just a moment, attend to one's physical needs, take a bio break, and then come back and say the bracha. If you want to say a bracha, you should have your head covered. Placing the hand over the head is not sufficient. However, because you can't, the principle is oneself does not cover over oneself. So you can't cover yourself with yourself. You have to have something else. Like, for example, a yarmulke, a good place to keep it, so you always know where it is, on top of your head. Good. However, you can place your hand on someone else's head. If someone doesn't have a yarmulke, put your hand on their head, and they can then make a bracha, because it's me and them, two different things. If you place your sleeve on your own head, you'll see some people, some yeshiva type people do this. Put the sleeve over, so the sleeve is not me. I happen to be wearing it, but it is sufficient to be a head cover. Bidi Yevet, after the fact, a bracha is still valid, even if the person's head was not covered. However, better to do it proper, to make a bracha when fully clothed. If this is not possible, a bracha may be said as long as there's a separation between the heart and the lower parts of a person's body. In order to have full concentration when pronouncing the bracha, one should hold the food or drink in the hand while reciting before making the bracha. The food should be held in the right hand if you're a right-handed person, a left hand if you're a lefty, whichever is your dominant hand, because the Torah gives importance to the right. That's for the majority of us, I believe. If again, someone who's left-handed, their left hand functions halachically as their right hand. If you don't have the food in your right hand at the time of the bracha, you fulfill the idea of a bracha b'diavad after the fact. In other words, you don't have to make the bracha again, but better to hold the food in your hand first. Mishnah Brura is of the opinion that, as we said, Mishnah Brura, yes, is the opinion that left-handed person should hold the food in the left hand, which is the dominant hand. Others disagree, but there you have it, a little give and take. In halacha, some say that the food will if the food will dirty our hands when we pick it up directly, hold the plate while making a bracha. Based on Kabbalah, the poskim say that you should not hold your food with a knife. So don't stab a chicken wing with your knife and hold it up like that. A plastic knife is acceptable. Some say you shouldn't use a metal fork to hold a piece of food, but the minhag is to be lenient with this. Indeed, as far as I've seen, most people do that, as approved by Minhag Yisrael Torah. So you are eating your chicken. You're just going to have one piece of chicken. So you cut a slice with your knife and fork. You hold the first bite of chicken aloft with your fork. Give it a little foof so it doesn't burn you. Make the bracha shakol niyeh b'dvaro and pop it in. That's the procedure. One may drink directly from a water fountain, even if the water is not in your right hand. You can't say that by holding the button. You're actually holding the whole water fountain. This is because the water will be coming up when the button's pressed. However, you should check to make sure the water fountain is working before you make a bracha. So you're in the airport, you're in the ballpark, whatever it is, you want to drink of water, you say the bracha on water, which is shahakol niyeh b'dvaro. You punch down on the button, or you turn the little lever on the fountain. This one happens to be turned off. Now what do? You got to go run around, look for water, look for another fountain, ask the guy, can you give me a cup of water? Better just check. Take a half of a second to check. Make sure it's on. So that the bracha is not pronounced in vain. Some poskim suggest if there is a cup handy, you should fill the cup, right? You take a little cup and you fill it with water from the water fountain or your water bottle, whatever you happen to have with you. Place the cup in your right hand and make the bracha shakol niyeh b'dvaro, which is also nicer Our moms were always not so excited when we put our mouth. Don't put your mouth too close to the spigot. Okay, there you have that. We'll talk some more about the laws of brachas as we continue in this little chapter. Meantime, have a good day. Please tune in tomorrow.